Yeah, good day and compliments, dear esteemed viewer, and welcome to our today's edition of the Hermeneutics of Culture, Religion, and Politics on ABS Channel 2 for Oka on Star Times 113 and Metro Digital 29. With Very Reverend Father Professor Bona Christus Umogo Mwanamado, and Kumen Fame of Instant Miracles, the Directorate of Igbo Village and Center for African Civilization, many years HOD, Philosophy Department UNIZIC. Very Reverend Father Professor Bona Christus Umogo is the Spiritual Director and Father Founder of Communio Sanctorum Ministries International, the gentleman seriously working towards actualizing Jesus Christ University as well as Igbo University. Very Reverend Father Professor Bona Christus Umogo is a Catholic priest of Onitsha Diocese, a humanitarian, a writer that have written many books, particularly in philosophy and some other parts. Very Reverend Father Professor Bona Christus Umogo is a poet, he is a divine mystic, and a lot of other things about Father Bona. Mona Madia, welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
And I have with me here in the studio to hit the hammer at the head of the nail today, a philosopher, an African philosopher for that matter. And I am talking about no other person than Mr. Samuel Ozo. Samuel, you're welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. So, there is Cynthia. My name is Jude Mascot Biagu. I am the anchor. And today we are going to look at ethnicity in Nigerian politics. That is cut 2 because we started it last week. And just before we could take off in today's discussion, let's start by taking the first message from the sponsor of this program. Yeah, Father, when we talk about ethnicity in Nigeria, we have in mind the Igbo, the Yoruba, the Hausa Fulani. These are the 3 major tribes in Nigeria. Others are there, but then these are the 3 major. And there is this problem of from where are you coming from and what is your religion? And that has prompted me now to ask you this very question as the first question. You know, we started this in last week. Now, what do you think this ethnic and religious nationalism has done to Nigeria as a country?
Thank you very much. I will begin by making a reference to democracy.
Yeah.
The purpose of democracy is to establish that the rights of the citizens are equal, that there should be no discrimination based on race, based on tribe, based on color, based on religion, and all that. So that everybody will be equal before the law, and no one can be more equal. in reference to the other person. I want to make it clear that anytime, I stressed this particular point in our last discussion, anytime you bring in religion into politics, or bring in ethnicity into politics, you want to destroy equality, the law of equality. I still maintain it is just as unjust to treat equals unequally as it is to treat unequals equally. So the issue of bringing in somebody's faith or religion or system of belief, because in religion, when we make the definition that it has to do with man's activities in reference to God, or gods in quotes, it has also to refer. It refers again beyond that to a system. That is some of these organized religions. Because God is the supreme ruler and the controller of the universe, and any belief in God is always very strong. So that the faith of the people is something that moves the people. And anytime you bring that faith into politics, it will dominate politics to the detriment of other people who are not members of the same religion. So what I will simply say is that ethnicity, even though I have said it's not something completely negative, there is something positive about ethnicity. I have said that we should always think of ethnicity in lines of those cultural traits that unite us together as a people, and avoid moving into the terrains of those cultural traits that divide us as a people. So in terms of unification, ethnicity is something positive and dynamic. But in terms of some of these competitions, conflicts, and combats, you see, it is something negative and can even destroy a nation. So I want to conclude by saying that anytime you bring in ethnicity, you also bring in things like nepotism, things like tribalism, things like sectionalism, which must involve the issue of religion. And religion is something very, very, very serious, because it borders on faith and also borders on salvation. So to bring that into politics means to make democracy a theocracy. See, and you see, because we have many ethnic groups, it will be difficult to make one religion dominant. If you do that, you have entered into the terrain of discrimination based on religion, based on worship of God, based on faith, based on salvation, and all that. So I want to establish again, once and for all, that let us find a way to establish the true purpose of democracy. I have said that Nigerian democracy, even though it borders on federalism, you may call it a presidential democracy, presidential, which borders on the three tiers, the issue of the executive, the legislative, the judiciary. And it is based on a kind of dividing or division of powers between and among a strong central federal government and then the state units of the same government, the local governments and things like that. But you find out that, of course, we cannot talk about confederalism. It's a different item with a weak center. So we're talking about federalism in Nigeria. So anytime I talk about that kind of federalism, we are moving towards something very, very important that must be inclusive, not exclusive. That's why I still recommend that before we can get a kind of unification or undivided unity or identity between and among these ethnic groups, both the majors and the minors, we must enter into what I call intercultural hermeneutics as a principle, and even as a ministry, among the ministries in Nigeria. So later the federal government create a ministry for intercultural hermeneutics, because in the intra-cultural hermeneutics, you have this kind of homogeneity between and among the various cultural traits of people. But you see, to go from that intra to the inter, and even the extra, see, there must be some connectivity as a principle. So that's why I will still insist that in reference to the things we do, if there are things that are good and positive in all these cultures, like what we call the cultural universals, that we are all human beings, we are rational, we want something good, etc. We love God. These are cultural universals, or what we may call transcendental qualities of being and existence. So we can do a kind of interpretation that will unite us along the lines of these cultural universals. Otherwise, when we go into things that are nefarious, bad, and selfish, you find out that we miss the mark. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. Samuel Uzo, you see, Father had just mentioned that ethnic and religious nationalism kind of could spell doom to a country the way we are driving towards it in Nigeria. We still have some other factors that could still stand as damages, as dangers towards this ethnic and religious nationalism in Nigeria. Would you mind, or in your own way, do you still have something to say about this very question?
Yeah, something that lies essential in what Father said. It's the idea of ethnic consciousness. Most times we have not been able to identify the connection between ethnicity and ethnic consciousness. Someone may be ethnicist, but lacks consciousness, and that's where what Father said about cultural universal comes in.
Go to the angle of, let's say, economic-wise, can we, how safe and comfortable it is for the Igbo man or for the Hausa man who stays here and is doing business, for the Igbo man who stays there and is doing business? Take, for example,
that is a kind of economic democracy.
Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to go that area, and again, religion. You used to hear town crying, people preaching the word of God in the morning.
Okay.
We have freedom of worship. How free are we in worshiping God?
Yeah.
Please, sorry, Samuel. Okay. If you want to call us from now, you can start making your calls. Along the discussion we have in mind, we can accept calls. The numbers are there on the screen. You can just make your calls, and we can pick it and answer your questions.
Yeah, there are two things we need to glean from this. One is that the leaders, okay, especially the economic leaders, okay, who lack the consciousness of people's ethnic group, will always fall on the line, okay, will always fall on the line of ethnicism, and that's a problem. Okay.
Hello. Please, if you are calling us, be serious. If you are calling us, just minutes.
Okay.
You tune down the volume of your TV set so that we can get you. The numbers to call are there clearly written on the screen. 090-729-72090, 090-729-72090. The other one is 070-627-24192. I just opened the line now because you are free to make your calls. Hello? Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, we lost the call. No, and that's why you can see the link between what I would call ethnic consciousness and democracy. A true democrat who is not conscious of a tribe, especially in distributing wealth, in creating jobs, okay, will always fall outside the line of democracy. Okay? And those democratic values will not always manifest because this person has lost touch of his people. This person, for instance, you heard what was happening to the Igbos in Lagos. Okay? That's one area that we need to call to mind. The question is, how democratic is the policy that has got to do with, expelling the Igbos or even endangering their lives?
Hello? Hello?
It's like
Okay.
the line is not...
Okay, so you still find out that there is always a link between democracy, ethnicity, and I add ethnic consciousness. Get it well. Ethnic consciousness lies at the basis of ethnicity and democracy. Because if I am not always mindful of my people, if I am not always mindful of the good, of the integrity of my people, there will be a shortfall in my economic policy. It will be what some economists call a trickle down, which will just be about giving them some paltry things, not considering their wholeness as human beings. And to that extent, the problem of, like Father said, intercultural hermeneutics will come up. I mean, whereby you have not been able to identify. Yes? Okay.
Hello, your name and location. Hello, we're hearing you. What's your name and location?
Hello?
Your name and location. Go ahead.
Okay, so you see, because we have not been able to identify the other, we have not been able to identify other ethnic groups, we have not been able to see the humanity in others, we won't consider their integral development. We always consider them as, some accidents in the history of cultures, in the history of states, and all that. So, how will, therefore, a kind of intercultural hermeneutics work in that situation? But when we have become ethnic conscious, okay, when we have become ethnic conscious, it will lead not just to real democracy, but to what? A holistic development. So that's my take there.
Okay, Father, somebody.
I will make a reference to the concept of the path towards pure democracy. We said that from what Samuel has said, our democracy is not democratic enough. We may call that a democracy without democrats, just like you may have election without electorates. We're still coming to that very one. But I want to make it clear that since we are practicing federalism, let us be true to the principle of federalism, showing that every economic undertaking, every issue of employment opportunity must derive from the federal character. So let the federal character be seen in everything. Employments, allocations, sharing of whatever. And as we have seen, we have 3 major tribes and other minor tribes. The most important thing is to make sure that what we may call from each according to his or her ability and to each according to his or her needs. So the issue of federal character must be there in every allocation, every appointment and all that. And you see, it is not there. Yeah, you can see people from one tribe dominating everything, and others having more or less nothing at all. So the issue of democratic justice should not be made selective. Otherwise, it becomes democratic injustice, and it is trying to mutilate democracy. Thereupon, making democracy wander on a rotten ground, where justice is sacrificed. By what is called ethnic consciousness, I wanted to make a reference to what I may call the negative dimension of that, because even though you are asked to be conscious ethnically, you must also not do that at the detriment of your neighbor or your brother. Even though, as we say, charity begins at home, it must never end at home.
Okay.
So there is, I've made it clear that there is this story which is still told and told ever and again, that one person, I will not mention the name, from the Igbo nation, or the Igbo tribe, won a position that will make him be in charge of the Yorubas as well as the Igbo people. And one other person went around during the night and in reference to this ethnic consciousness, told the Yoruba people, remember, you are Yoruba, not Igbo. An Igbo person is coming to rule over you. Even though I will not ask you to vote for me as a Yoruba people, but vote for Yoruba tribe. That's the path. Indeed, he called it somewhere the path towards political greatness. I don't know what kind of greatness is that. So that's being selfish or even selfish in a negative way. So I will. Okay.
Hello?
Hello.
So I have established somewhere earlier than now that there is nothing we can do about ethnicity in Nigeria, but we can do something about the problem of integration it engenders in Nigeria. Now, every tribe has an intra-culture. The way they eat, they dress. I have said that culture has to do with a way of life. But a people in living encounter various problems. In the search for the solution of those problems, they come up with specific traditions and principles. Now, those things will make them more or less to demand things that will help them in their intra-polity. But when you do that, if you concentrate on that without looking over the intra-politics to what you may call inter-politics, you become tribal. That's where you become sectional. You now practice preference to certain sections and avoid the general welfare. That's why I still insist, let the federal character be seen at play in Nigerian politics. If it is done, it will deal a serious wound to ethnicity, of course, from a negative direction. So, ndị Igbo sị na eme nwa ka emere ibe obi adị ya mma. Ọha zuru me, that's Igbo democracy. Ọha ka, ọha bụ eze na ana Igbo. Ọ bụrụ ikwe bulu nni ọgbagọda anyị azụ. Bunu ibe anyị danda. Ọ bụrụ na abịa na nke nwa dọrọ mma, asa agbakọ ekwe nwa n'onunu, ọ gara awa n'afa. So, and you see, there is something that is a problem fundamentally. And most of the political philosophers like Bodin, like Hobbes, like Rousseau, Locke, all of them, they talked about this issue of sovereignty. How do you transfer power from the people to the sovereign? How do you transfer power from the people to the sovereign? It has been a problem of democracy. I have said democracy has a problem because the people cannot rule. That's why democracy, in terms of direct sense, is impossible. what they call popular sovereignty. But what we call indirect democracy or representative democracy, that's the one that's always possible. And there's a problem there because there is the vacuum or the gap between the sovereign and the people. Now, when the people elect their leader or leaders, see, they are transferring sovereignty to the person. Supposing the sovereign hijacks that sovereign power and becomes a despot, a dictator, what do? So it is something very sensitive. What do? That's why democracy can as well be the freedom to elect your own dictator. Something like that.
And that has taken care of the next question I would have asked you. Samuel, do you have anything more to say about Nigerian democracy? How democratic is Nigerian democracy?
I would rather say that.
Has underlined something there. Yeah. How democratic is Nigerian democracy?
I would rather say, or put the question this way, how democratic are Nigerians? Because we wouldn't, where is Nigeria? Nigeria is not just a land, it's not just a geographical location. Nigeria consists of the people. And these people are meant to be democratic. And I have come to discover that we are not yet given to the real meaning of democracy. That is why when the dictator arises from us, we are surprised. Because it appears that this is new to us. It is not part of us. So it still falls back to going back to ask, how democratic am I as a Nigerian? Do I believe in the leader I have elected? Do I think that the leader, okay?
How democratic is Nigerian democracy? We have a democracy here. Is that democracy democratic? Is it actually people electing their leaders?
The democratic is not empty of the human person.
Okay.
It's not devoid of the human person.
Ethnicos has to do with nation, the people.
The people. So it's not outside, it is about me. And that is, in fact, whenever we dissociate the Nigerian democracy from Nigerians, we start, groping in the dark. Because we may not have really lived out the demands of democracy. And, of course, we shouldn't expect the dividends of democracy. Because we don't even know what we are doing. Today, the average Nigerian does not even have a direction. Does not even know. Look at the last election, for goodness sake. Okay? Yeah, people were going out to vote. But then, at the end of the day, everybody went in. And the result was announced. And today, we have a leader. Okay? Now, what we are trying to say here is that Nigerians need to be re-educated on the meaning of democracy. In fact, Prof, you are here. I would want democracy to be a course in the university. I don't think we only have political science and all that. Let it be a course. And this is how we have to reintegrate ourselves into the mean, and then let it be practiced in various levels, even down to the primary school. So that, and then sometimes I would still want us to fall back on our traditional idea of democracy, or Hazulume, as you rightly said, because it is from our culture, like we are talking about ethnicity, that we now go into democracy.
That's a very good reminder. Father Bona, we want to take the second message from the sponsor of the program. Back from there, we enter into this on Hazulume democracy, the Igbo aspect. So let's take a message from the sponsor of the program. Dear child of God, you're welcomed to Hermeneutics of Religion, Culture, and Politics with Very Reverend Father Professor Abunakrisus Anambra and Kumen Fame of Instant Miracles, Father Founder and Spiritual Director of Communio Sanctorum Ministries International, a supremely intelligent genius of Christ, a thoroughgoing Catholic priest, a professor of philosophy, and a respected authority in African and Western metaphysics, logics, theodicy, and mathematical philosophy. Very Reverend Father Professor Abunakrisus Anambra is an international professor from the Faculty of Arts, Anambra University, Oka, Director, Igbo Village and Center for African Civilization, UNISIC, the man who is championing the cause of establishing an Igbo University as well as Jesus Christ University. Father Bona is a Catholic priest of Onitsha Archdiocese. He is a seer and a mystic, a polyglot and philanthropist of no mean repute. Come to Very Reverend Father Professor Abunakrisus Anambra for warfare prayers, sacred exorcisms, stigmatization, transverbation, bilocation, miraculous transportation, levitation, and mystical healings at the sacred ground and miraculous arena of Communio Sanctorum of divine apparitions, miracles, testimonies, healings, and deliverances. Dear child of God, you are also invited to Communio Sanctorum Ministries International on these days as follows. Every Tuesday, consultation from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Come for sacramental confession, Most Holy Rosary procession, gospel reading with sermon and homily, devotion to the Sacred Heart of Mary, Angelus administration. Every Thursday, Sacred Communion from 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Come for sacramental confessions, Most Holy Rosary procession, Good News Bible reading with sermon and homily, devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus and Immaculate Heart of Mary, Angelus administration, as well as the Holy Mass. On Saturdays, Communion of the Saints, 9:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Come for sacramental confession, Most Holy Rosary procession, Gospel reading with sermon and homily, devotion to the Sacred Heart of Jesus and Immaculate Heart of Mary, First Friday / First Saturday, Vigil 6 p.m. till dawn. On First Friday, devotion to the Most Sacred Heart of Jesus. First Saturday, devotion to the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Venue, behind Olivia Montage, former Tourist Garden, Agwaka. God bless you. Yeah, there is the program Hermeneutics of Culture, Religion, and Politics is also looking for more sponsors. And you can just call us on 080-332-45290, 080-332-45290. For sponsorship, you can call this number. Father Bona, what do you have to say about Ohazurume Igbo democracy? We have been talking about Ohazurume Igbo democracy so that our people will hear. Igbo has entered there, that Ohazurume is Igbo language. So yes, I don't know if you wouldn't mind coming up in both Igbo and English.
We believe a lot in Ohazurume. And before I go into that, I wish to talk on what I call the contract of democracy. The contract of democracy, which a good number of political philosophers and scientists have called social contract.
Hello, please send me card, okay? I need card now.
So, anytime you
hello, Father. Excuse me, Father. Okay. Please, the program is not a kiddies program. We are appealing to the adults at home to please help us. The kids are calling our lines, and it's not very necessary. Go ahead, Father.
There is what I call the contract of democracy. And that contract must be respected. What do you call it, a social contract or political contract or whatever? We are going to give you the Igbo dimension of that. Yeah. That contract must be respected. For a people to get the leader they deserve, they must respect the social contract or the political contract. What do I mean by that? The proposition to select a leader has to be followed by election. We have found out that at times election becomes selection. Of course, there can never be any election without selection. But when selection itself becomes the election, no one can talk about election again. That's the problem. And that's why, if you look into the two dimensions of how the people will decide, when you see that if you now vote based on a wrong social and or political contract, your vote will count nothing. But those who will now count the vote will become everything. So you have two dimensions, two divisions, the voters and those who count the vote. I see. But you see, when we respect the social contract, now what do I mean by that? Now, of course, most of our political leaders in their campaigns destroy the social contract. They tell a lot of lies. They share money. They bribe people. They use force. They use. It was just like that somebody like Denis Butu said, under jackboots our bones and spirits crunch, forced into sweaty and sodden slush, and glow lived by this sodden touch. The sun strikes perhaps our bones may let us sing. So the issue, if you come into social contract with truth from both sides, that's why it's not just the problem of the leaders or the politicians. I've said that the problem we have in the country is that politics has become a business. So our professional politicians are not professionals in politics.
Hello.
Hello?
Our professional politicians are not professionals in politics. And I'm not against being a professional politician, but just like Samuel, you should have some education of the systems of governments in the world, especially democracy, under which you are a politician. So I will simply say that we must be, of course, there's another paradox again, that in politics, you don't have permanent enemies or permanent friends. That's why they cross carpets anyhow. But we have permanent interests, which is somehow dangerous. That's why, as I will say, let the leaders and the people, let them respect the social contract. That's why some professional political philosophers will say, when you no longer find meaning or sense in the agreed social contract, you have the right to demand for a new contract. A new contract, which must involve a revolution. A new contract. So, of course, we cannot say that the leadership is only the problem we have in Nigeria. We have also the problem of followership. We have crap followership. And when you don't follow the way you should follow, the leader will do whatever he likes. I'll get away with that. So let us not just blame the leader. We also, just like we should also blame ourselves. The way we follow, the way we respond to things, it's like we're not doing that with truth and integrity and honesty and loyalty. That's why the proposition must remain, a people must get the leader they deserve. I thank God we said this in the other program before the election. It's like a prophecy of what will happen, and it has happened. A people will always get the leader they deserve. So anytime you look at your leader, you see the mirror of who you are. So, and it was because of that that I still remember there's this Pope I respect a lot, Pope John the 23rd, who wrote an encyclical called Pacem in Terris in the year of the Lord, 1963, paragraph 137, where the Pope made it very clear that in reference to the common good, because if I was going for a cake, bread and butter, money, when was just and power. So, for you to, that's why I have said that politics must involve not only the management of men, it must also extend to resources. That's why I am saying that in terms of management of men and resources, they must reflect the federal character that must be seen. And all these troubles will go into thin air, will vaporize. So the Pope was saying that in reference to this urge and draw towards the universal, of course, the universal earthly goods, they have a kind of God designed them for the good of everybody. But you see that there is this idea that the scarcity of some of the things will bring in competition. But that's where you have what you may call the power of ideology. Let the leaders have strong ideologies. So if we ask you now, what's your, of course, we know that philosophers are creators of ideologies. They can come to some of us, we give them at no cost, because we design the ideology, and somebody who can propound so many theories in just a little time. They come to me like wildfire. So you come and we give you a little ideology to guide what you are doing. See, you cannot do something without a political ideology. You cannot be a politician without an ideology. It's not only about money and things, but there are pure human values, love, goodness, truth, at those levels, so that we are now working with human beings, not people you can manipulate. That's why I talk about the politics of politics, whereby you are now adding a lot of things, stratagems to have an undue advantage of your fellow citizens, even though in democracy, we are all equal before the law. That's the purpose of democracy. No discrimination. That's why anytime I see people talk about ethnicism or religion in a democracy, I say it's no longer democracy. It's no longer democracy. The constitution is there and must be respected and obeyed. That's why we talk about constitutional democracy. That's also presidential democracy. So I will go into what you have asked me, because I wanted to talk about the social contract, because you see, like the reference I was making to Pope John the 23rd, the Pope made it clear because of the draw and the lure of the universal ethnic goods. See, he was insisting that there must be an authority. Even he went to the extent of talking about an international authority to regulate how these goods are measured and are organized. Otherwise, those who are greedy will take over everything, and the poor will be trampled. So that's let me leave the issue of that for some other time, because there's no time.
Hello.
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening. Your name and location?
I'm Chigozie calling from Oka.
Chigozie from Oka. Okay.
Yes, sir. So, for the program,
thank you.
Under politics in Nigeria, there is a tribalism and the ethnic problem. You know, this last election, the politicians say, what they get, talking. All the politicians are tribal sentiment. You mentioned about Oyibo, Konkara, Oyo Yoruba, within his territory. And when we only Yoruba banding Yoruba to vote for your tribe. And then I know the story. This is between Awolowo and Dik. I know the story. So this has name like what I would like to consider this democracy and government of the people, by the people and for the people. They are not practicing true democracy. And the way they grab power by force, by force using authority. Understand? People now lose interest. There is the apathy of people going out to vote. Before that thing I got vote, they go. So this is what contribute. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okuzigo ni fe ine achoro ikwu. Okwu afa zik na wolo. When ona denk aga me John hazuru me we zagi fafu. Maka na anyị wụ ndị Igbo nkwaziri ike wepụta ọhazurume dịka ife anyị na-egosikwa ndị Nigeria ma ụwa niile say an Igbo contribution to political world political ideology. It's a very important something. Ọhazurume ị na-anya n'okwu afọ ị ga-afụ ọha fụ zuru ma ọ zurume ya ife o gosiri bụ na ọ bụrụ ike otu onye. Ndị Igbo na-asị na ofu onye ka ọha bụ onye ala ka ọ bụ ofu osi adị eme ọfịa. Ya bụ na ọ bụrụ gidigidi bụ ugwu eze. Ifu na ọ bụrụ maka ofu onye nọ maka mmadụ niile. Mana ilezi anya ifu na ife ndị Igbo nyụrụ anya wee kwuo ọhazurume bụ na ha chọrọ ka ihe niile bụ ihe gbasalụ ma ọchịchị ma ego ma akụ na ụba ma okwu na ụkakwu. Maka ekwu na okwu na gada ọhazurume ejikwa na agbakọ ọkwa nwa nnụnụ na ọ gaghị agwa n'afa. Okwu na gadukwu niile ya bụ ife ndị afọ niile a na-egosi na ọ bụ mmadụ ka maka ọha bụ mmadụ ekwu ọha mmadụ na ọha mmụọ abịa na mmụọ ọha ka abịa na mmadụ ọha ka. Ya bụ na ọha a sị na agbakọ nyụọ mamịrị ọgba ọfụfụ. Mana ị na-anya na ọha ndị Igbo na-ekwu ị na-anya ka ha si wee nọdụ ịfụ na eziokwu na Igbo sị na ọha bụ eze mana ndị Igbo nwere eze. Ka m na-ekwu ndị na-asị na Igbo enwe eze na-aghọta anyị na nwere eze ndị Igbo nwere ndị afọ abụrụ ndị Igbo nwere eze ebe niile kwen. Oge anyị na-ekwu gbasara aka ndị Igbo si wee bịa mana Aguleri mana nri anyị kwesara eze mana Igbo ukwu mana Ọnịcha eze nọ n'Igbo ndị ọcha maka oge wụta ime ife dịgara Warren Chiefs ọfa ji ife afọ wee ghasaa ife dị na Igbo ka m bịa ọha bụ eze Igbo. Mana ọha bụ eze Igbo pụtara na oge ọbụla bụ oge ndị Igbo chọrọ ime ife fa ga-agbakọ n'ọnụ. So the Igbo democracy is a consensus democracy, whether it's what we call consensus communi and consensus adidem. A ga-agbakọ ọnụ, a ga-atụ alụ, atụsịa alụ afọ uche mmadụ, uche ọha, uche ndị mmadụ, ife contract, uche ndị mmadụ. Uche ndị mmadụ afọ ọ bụ n'aka ndị okenye, maka na ịbịa na ọhazurume ị ga-afụ na ndị Igbo ekwenye n'onye ọnapụta ma okenye ma nwatakịrị ma okorobịa na mba a ga-agbakọ n'ọnụ. Ọ bụ ndị ọ dị n'aka. Ịbịa na ezinụlọ ọ dị n'aka dị ọkpara, ịbịa na ụmụnna ọ dị n'aka isi ụmụnna wee tọcha n'ụmụnna, ịbịa n'aka ndị ebe n'obodo ọ dị n'aka eze. Ya o nwere ka o si aga mana oge ọ na-aga ọ bụ mmadụ ka o ji aga, ọ bụ uche mmadụ ka o ji aga, gosi na onwe mmechaa ka ihe dị ka eze ma onye isi ndị nze ma ọ bụ nna dịọkpara na ezinụlọ nwee isi ndị ụmụnna kwuo ihe bụ ihe ndị mmadụ achọrọ. Ya bazi m kwuwe ọ bụ ọhazurume a ga-akanye aka ka demokrasi a na-ekwu na Naịjirịa ka o nwee isi. Maka etu o si na-aga a ga-enwere ndị ndu, ndị mmadụ ga-arọpụta ndị ndu afọ mana ọ ga-esi n'ife a na-akpọ mmụọ ndị mmadụ, uche ndị mmadụ. Onye kpata ekwura ọha mmadụ kwuo ọha mmụọ, mmụọ ndị mmadụ. Abụ ife ndị Igbo na-ekwu mmụọ ndị mmadụ afọ ọsọsọ mmụọ ndị dị ndụ. Achọghị m ịbara nke afọ okwu n'ụka dị na nnukwu ndọrọndọrọ dị na nnukwu mana gụta na mmụọ ndị mmadụ ka a na-ebunye eze, ka a na-ebunye onye ndu, ọ bụ n'ime ezinụlọ, ọ bụ na ụmụnna, ọ bụ na ndị nze na ọzọ, ọ bụ eze obodo, ọ bụ ebe ndị ọzọ. Ndị Igbo gbakọgodu obodo dị iche iche ofu ọhazurume afọ ka na-aga. Maka na nwere ofu eze obodo onye gbakọtara na ga-ebunyekwazi mmụọ ndị mmadụ dịka ọfọ nwere isi na abụọ uja na ụna o mefie osobe ọgọfie osobe maka nyigbue ma tigbue maka ụfọdụ atọ n'ije.
Ọha na-atụ alo n'ala Igbo.
Ọha na-atụ alo n'ala Igbo onye bata anyị kwu mmụọ ndị mmadụ. Monday, onye battle, abia checks and balances, abia na ihe gbasara ndị kwe na ndị ekworo, onye ka anyị kwuru na abia na n'Igbo, ọ dị enyekarị nsogbu, nọ ndị Igbo gbara ọfụ omeri o ji dịkwa na enye nsogbu. O ji ana obe ofu ndị, ofu otu, ejewala ofu ebe, sị na ndị Igbo zigalafa. Ọ bụrụ anyị zigalafa. Ndị Igbo niile zigalafa, fa ga-ame ife. Mana amụrụ na fa ejebele. Obodo ga-abịa ka fa ji akpagali.
Obodo Nigeria nọ na nsogbu. Amaghị m ndị INEC bụ ndị amaghị ife ha na-eme. Amaghị m ndị na-achị ahụ ndị amaghị ihe ha na-eme. Maka mpi aka ndị mmadụ mere. Asị nọ ihe a ka ọ bụ na agụgụ ya ọnụ. Emesịkwa akpọwakwa ihe a na-akpọ resọt, na-akpọkwa ihe ọzọ. Ọ ya bụ na Nigeria nọ na nnukwu nsogbu. O wee bụrụ ya anyị abịago ebe anyị apịachi ihe njikwa ihe ahụ ka ife ihe ya eji wee kpee ekpere. Na obodo anyị nọkwara na nsogbu. Ka ikpe ekpere Chineke bịara nzọpụta obodo a. Ọ bụ ọzọ ife ekwu ka anyị na-afụ.
Oh Jesus Christ, you said in John chapter 14 verse 14, whatsoever we ask the Father in your name, the Father will establish that. So Father, in the name of Jesus, by the power of the Holy Spirit, I hand over Nigeria again to you. Let there sufficient grace, O God. Give us truth. Give us conscience. I know that conscience is an open wound. Only truth can heal the conscience. Oh God, you are the king of the universe, the supreme ruler and controller of the universe. Everything is in your hands. Oh God, take control of this nation, Nigeria. Take total control by your grace of this nation, Nigeria. Let the light of your truth be established forever. In Jesus' mighty name I pray.
Amen.
Amen. The Almighty God bless you, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Amen.
Amen. Peace be with you.
And with your spirit, so dear esteemed viewer, that's where we come or draw the curtain in our today's edition of the hermeneutics of culture, religion, and politics. It's been Father Bona, Christus Umar, Mother here in the studio with Samuel Uzo. I want to say a very big thank you to Father Bona and as well as Samuel. And I am Jude Mascot to be able to be the presenter of this program. Father, I don't know, can you just quickly remind us what the next topic might be?
We may take something about the human destiny.
Okay, human destiny, that's what we are coming up with next week. So until then, bye for now.